So in previous videos, we showed you how to create unit tests for existing requests that were already implemented. But what if you want to use test-driven development with DQMH? So that means creating your unit tests before you implement the code. And that will mean creating a unit test that fails and then implementing the code to make it pass. So we're going to make a very simple one. What we're going to do is we are going to go to our tools, Delacorp, DQMH, create new DQMH event, and we are going to create for our singleton a request just to change the color. And let's do it round trip. So we're going to create a request on the broadcast, and both are going to have the same argument. So normally what would go next is I would tell you, let's go and implement the code on the API tester and let's implement the code. But this time, what we're going to do is just save everything, just make sure that it created the stuff we needed and that we have our code needed, because we're going to come back and use them later. And that it did also my placeholder on the module itself. And you can see here I have my documentation and I also have my 2 code needed, but I'm not going to implement the code just yet. I'm going to go to my menu again, and I'm going to go and create a unit test. So I'm going to say create new DQMH unit test, and that's going to be for the request that I just created, the change from panel color, and that's the one we are going to be doing. So what that did is I already had a setup and a teardown for my singleton, and I already had a do something test. It created a new test that's called my singleton module change from panel color, and it has the one because that allows me to have multiple unit tests if I wanted to create new ones or test in a different way. Timeout were the very first event that would happen. I would fail the test. Now if the module didn't stop were to happen, I would fail the test, right? Because it stopped before I got the answer I wanted. If the error would be received before, then I know that I would have to fail the test. And then finally, here is where I actually implement. And the broadcast that I know that implements, or that will be called, is the from panel color change, and I know that its argument is actual color number. So what I want to do here is pick up a color and then make sure that that's the color that I get. So if I put a color box constant, and let's say we want to make it just that color. So if that's the color that I am sending to the request, that's the color that I expect to receive from the broadcast. So if the color received from the broadcast is equal to the one here, then I pass. Okay, and that's it. So if I am doing a custom test, not, because the unit testing is agnostic, I could just create a new VI here, a new VI. I would create a new VI and then ask for my singleton setup, my singleton teardown, and then I would call these new unit tests. And of course right now, and another thing too is that right now I'm putting it directly inside of here, but I could also choose to make this a control and make the input via an argument, and then do that over here. Okay, and of course if I try to run now, I am going to get an error, right? Because I have not implemented my code, and that's fine. That is a way for me to know that my code doesn't pass yet. So I'm going to have an error, and right now we're, it finally came back with the error because the module cannot run. I could, and there are other videos on how to do this with JKI tester and with Unit Test Framework. We're going to do it with Unit Test Framework, just so you don't go with this habit of creating VIs and not having them in a format where you can automatically run them later. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to our new unit under test, and we are going to create a new test under the Unit Test Framework. And that created these color from panel color change. So what we're going to do is go to my configuration, make sure that it's the one that I want. On my test cases, well, setup, for the setup VI, I want the setup, and for the teardown, I want the teardown. I'm going to check the error for now. So that's like regular testing, just that it passed. And again, as we expect, this is going to fail because we have not implemented the code yet. So of course, it says that we were expecting true and we got a false. So we're going to go now, because we're doing test-driven development, and we're going to go now and implement the code. So we added that extra step. Of course, I took my time because I wanted to show you every step. This is going to be more, this is going to be faster once you get used to doing it. So let's go back to in my tester, and I could go to the book manager, and then go to my code needed. Now this still has a lot of the code needed from the project itself because I created this for this demo and I have not been cleaning up. So you should be cleaning up as you go. But I have here that this is where I would process the color. So we're gonna put a color box here. And this is going to be my color box. And what I'm going to do is when, oh, this is a color change. Never mind. We need to go first to the one. Assign this event. So edit event handled by this case. This is going to be the color box changing. We're going to put it in here. The new value is what we're going to be sending to the VI itself. I can delete this label when done. And then I am going to go to the color change event, and I have it here as an argument, and I am going to create an indicator too. So let me just. Okay. So if I were to run now, I'm going to get failure because the module is broken because I haven't implemented the code. So that's what we expected, and that's the same error we were getting on our unit test. All right, so what I'm going to do, it says configure this message case for handling the change from panel color message, and delete this label when done. So let's. And then when we're done, it says drop this BI wherever you need to broadcast the front panel color change. So now that we have it, I can go to front panel, show that, and go to my tester. So run, start module, show module panel, and if I change the color, sure enough, I do get it. Okay. All right, so now I know it works, and I should have now my unit test should pass. So if I go to the unit test framework and run that test, I should say that it passes. Ta-da! It passes. And if I run these as a sniffer, I get the previous color. Yeah, so let's have something like that. So if I run this, I can see it how it is getting the message, and it ended up getting that color, which was the one used during unit testing. So that's how you would do test-driven development.